Good morning. A warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Barb Cook. I'm the creator of the Piece of Cake Expense and Revenue Tracking Tool. This is a tool that can be used by any small business owner to track their expense and revenue. Please be advised that this tool does not replace an accountant. It's designed to work in conjunction with an accountant. And it is your responsibility as the user of this tool to make sure that you're in compliance with the revenue rules for the revenue agency in your country. So, of course, that would be Revenue Canada in Canada and the IRS in the US, or whatever your revenue agency is if you're out anywhere else in the world. So please be assured that this tool is not to replace an accountant, but rather to work in conjunction with one, and you need to follow the rules of your revenue agency. I'm just going to leap right into how I use this tool. So I have a process flow that I follow. I have a shoebox that I put my receipts in at the end of each day or whenever I clean out my purse. I have summary sheets that I attach to each receipt. Then I enter them in my computer, and then I put them in my expanding file folder. So this summary sheet here is part of your tool. You'll get a copy of this. It'll be showed as attached here on the bottom right. And what I do is I put one of these, I cut these out and I put one of these attached to each one of my receipts. Makes things easy to track when I need to go find a receipt. And also some of the receipts that we're getting now are fading. And by having this attached to my actual paper receipt, I have a sort of a confirmation of what that receipt actually read. So there are 5 pages that you can actually do data entry into. Before we get to that, when you first log into the system, you're going to see this splash screen. And by saying, okay, what you're doing is you're accepting the terms and the terms of using the actual tool. So once you click OK, you will actually be able to see the instructions page. That's where it'll send you right away. So on the instructions page, you're going to see what the version is, what the year is, the year-end date is, and the year, and the instructions on how to use each page. There are 5 pages where we can do data entry. There's data entry expenses, mileage, revenue, discounts, and alternate revenue. So I'm going to quickly go through what each of these are. So you enter your expenses, 1 line per each expense. So let's say today I decided to buy a printer at Best Buy. I would just enter all the information like this. Oops. It's an office supply, and I would enter my HST, and you'll see that it's added. And I don't know if you noticed here on the right, as I was entering things were showing up red. So for example, if I missed an expense that I bought in December, I'm going to get an error that says I'm not allowed to make that entry because I can only make entries in the year and the year end. So for 2022, so it won't allow me. So I can't go backwards and I can't put something in from last year, but I can put in something from this year. And I could put a note over here that says missed receipt in December or something like that. You also notice that the value required is missing because I haven't put anything in there, and missing category. So as I populate this, so let's say it was $50 and it was for lunch, Breezy Corners, and then I put in my 6.5 for my, but I don't need that. But as you saw, the information was showing up in red, and now it's gone. So I'm just going to delete this one. So in this expense sheet, you have the ability to sort by date, by amount, by vendor, by category. They each have their own merits. You can use them for whatever reason you want. One thing that my accountant has said in the past is sometimes he wants to see what I've spent or what expenses were over a certain amount. So if I sort by amount, I can see that my printer was $100. If I wanted to see things over $50, for example, parking, etc., tax prep, etc. So this sort of information, it can be sorted, and you can sort by category. So if you want to see, where you're advertising, your entertainment, you can see annual fees. Like you can look at your categories as they're sorted. The next page for data entry would be mileage. Oh, sorry, one more thing. If you are entering household expenses, always enter them at 100%. Actually, enter all of your expenses at 100%, your vehicle expenses, everything, and make sure that your accountant is aware that that's what you're doing. And then your household can be calculated. You could put this, change this to 20% up here. And your household expense will show up in your summary page as only 20% of what you entered down here, but always enter 100% here in this area. Second page where you would do data entry is if you're traveling for work, you need to keep track on a daily basis of your mileage. So the revenue agencies, especially Revenue Canada, are really cracking down on this sort of thing. You need to keep a log, an accurate log of how many kilometers, or in the US, I guess it would be miles, that you're driving on a daily basis. And this sheet here will calculate what vehicle expenses you can actually claim. The key is you need to enter your odometer reading on the first of the year and then your odometer reading on the last of the year so that a percentage of your expenses can be calculated. The next page is data entry revenues. So this is sort of tailored to people in direct sales. So in this area, you would enter the total amount of your sales and the amount of commission you will receive on those sales. And then your revenue stream will be calculated based on that information. I didn't mention this in the data entry expenses page or the mileage page, but anything that's heading in blue, those are the areas that you can enter. So I can't enter something in this field, it's going to give me an error, but if there's a heading with a blue, it's going to let me enter the information. The next page is discounts. So if I'm in any business and I want to offer discounts and I want that to be deducted from my revenue, what I can do is I can enter the information here. So the date, the name, the description, and the amount of the discount. And of course, if I don't put something in, like if I forget to put this amount in, I'm going to say that there's a missing amount for the discount. So if I change that to $100, you'll see that on the data entry revenue page, the discount has changed to 100, and then it gives me an overall amount of my revenue. So it would be 68.84.85 minus the 100, and it would calculate my overall total. The alternate revenues page is designed so that if you are doing something out of the ordinary or you're not in direct sales, you can enter every one of your invoices here. So you put in the date, the name, again, the type of the service, type of the revenue service, whether it's a product or a service, your invoice number, the amount, and then you'll see here, like often in my business, for example, when I invoice a client, I don't always get paid right away. So I don't actually enter the amount received until I receive payment from the person. So I would enter once I receive it, 11:30, and you'd see that the amount received warning goes away. The key that your accountant is going to want to see at the end of the day is this expense summary. And this is going to break it down, and it's going to show you exactly what the expenses are. It's also one of my clients asked me to add this summary at the bottom so that the accountant, you could just submit this actual summary if that was useful to them, but you could submit the whole page. Again, the tool is designed to work in conjunction with an accountant, not to replace one. So this is where the big value comes in. The last page that we see is the results page, and this is just going to give you a summary of your revenue versus your expenses, what your alternate revenue were, and then the total gain and loss per month. You'll see things by by month, by quarter, and by year. So again, my name is Barb Cook, and I'm the creator of the expense and revenue tracking tools, Piece of Cake. If you need to get in touch with me, please send me an email at cook.barb@gmail.com if you have any questions, if you want to make a purchase. And I thank you very much for your time today. Have a great day.